So in this video, we are going to learn how to add Elementor form responses to Privyr, Brevo and Google Sheet. Let's say you have created an online form using Elementor. Now you want that whenever you receive a new form submission, a new response in that form, you want to add that user with the same details as a client in Previa, as a contact in Brevo, and you also want to add those form responses into the Google Sheet to maintain a record. So let me tell you, you can actually automate this process. So in this automation, whenever we are going to receive a new form submission in Elementor with the same details, a new client will be created in our Previa account, a new contact will be created in Brevo, and the same form responses with all the details will be saved in our Google Sheet as a new row. So if you want to know how you can set up this automation, for that you just have to come with me to my screen.
So as you can see, here we are on Pabbly Connect's dashboard. Now to reach this dashboard, you will get a free sign-up link of Pabbly Connect in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can create your free Pabbly Connect account in just 2 minutes. And after reaching to this dashboard, just click on Create Workflow and give this workflow a name. For example, I would like to name my workflow as Elementor to Privyr, Brevo and Google Sheets. Elementor to Privyr, Brevo and Google Sheets, and then just click on Create. Now you can see that our workflow is open over here. And in this workflow, you can see two different windows. First one is the trigger window and second one is the action window. So triggers and actions are basically those two concepts, those two principles on which this whole automation works on, where the trigger says when this happens and the action says do this. So let's start with our trigger window. Now the idea here is, first we have to connect our form which we have created using Elementor with Pabbly Connect in the trigger window. So that every time we receive a new form submission, a new response in this Elementor form, automatically the details of that form submission will be received inside Pabbly Connect, and this automation workflow will trigger. After that, using this automation, we are going to send the details of that form submission to Previa, and we are going to add the user who made the form submission with the same details as client in Previa. Then we are going to send the form responses to Brevo, and we are going to add this person as a contact in Brevo. And at last, we are going to save all of the form responses in our Google Sheet as a new row as well. So we are going to automate this complete process. So let's begin. Starting from our trigger window, in Choose App, search for Elementor. Just select it. After that, in Trigger Event from the drop-down, select New Form Submission. After selecting a trigger event, Pabbly Connect gave us a webhook URL. Now we are going to connect our Elementor form with Pabbly Connect using this webhook URL to capture the form responses. And to add this webhook URL in our Elementor form, we just have to follow the help text given below over here. Just copy this webhook URL from here, and then we will go to the form which we have created using Elementor. So we have created this form and we have opened this form in edit mode. After this, just hover on the form, and on the right top corner, you can see this edit form button. Just click on it. After clicking on edit form, on the left side here you can see different options over here. Just go to actions after submit, and here in add action from the drop down, select webhook. After selecting webhook, here you can see another option of webhook is added below. Just click on webhook, and here it is asking us for the webhook URL. Now in this field of webhook URL, we have to paste the exact same webhook URL which Pabbly Connect gave us. Just copy it from here and then paste it over here. And after pasting the webhook URL, just click on update. Now as we click on update, we have successfully added this webhook URL in Elementor form. Now every time we receive a new form submission in this form, automatically the details of that form submission, the form responses will be captured, will be received inside Pabbly Connect. So let's do this. Here in our Pabbly Connect workflow, it is showing us waiting for webhook response. This means Pabbly Connect is waiting to get the responses of form submission from Elementor. So what we are going to do, we will just open this form in preview mode, and then we are going to make a test form submission, a dummy form submission over here. Let's enter the details. For example, the name of the person is dummy user. Then this is the email address. Then this is a dummy mobile number. The age is for example 25 and the gender is for example male. Now let's click on submit. So just now after entering the details of the form submission entering the details of a dummy user, we have made a form submission. So we received a new form submission, a new form response in Elementor. And because we have connected this form with Pabbly Connect using the webhook URL, we will see in our Pabbly Connect workflow in this trigger window, we have received the response. And in this response, you can see the details of the exact same form submission. Here you can see the same first name, same last name, same gender, same email address, mobile number, and the age as well. So guys, the step 1 of setting up this automation is completed. We have successfully connected our Elementor form with Pabbly Connect and received the form responses from Elementor in our Pabbly Connect workflow. Now after this, let's move to step 2. In step 2, what we want to do, we want to send these form responses to Previa so that the user who made the form submission using these details, we can add this person as a client in our Previa account. For that, we will just scroll down, come to this action window, and here in Choose app, we are going to search for Previa and then just select it. After selecting Previa, an action event from the drop-down, select the action event as Create Client. Then just click on Connect and select Add New Connection. Now here guys, we have to connect our Previa account with Pabbly Connect. And to make this connection, we have to enter the authentication token of our Previa account. Now you must be thinking how you can get this authentication token to make the connection. So to get it, just log into your Previa account and here just go to Integrations tab. After coming to the Integrations tab, just scroll down and here you can see Pabbly Connect as an option. Just click on this Configure button. After clicking on Configure, here you can see the authentication token of your Privyr account for Pabbly Connect. Just copy this token from here, go to Pabbly Connect and paste it over here. And after pasting this, just click on Save. Now when we click on Save, we will see our Privyr account will get connected with Pabbly Connect. And after making this connection, the first thing it asks us is the name. That what is the name of the new client that we want to create in Previa. So we have received the first name and the last name. We have received the name of the person from Elementor form submissions in our trigger window. Now what we have to do, we have to basically map this response of first name and last name. We have to map the responses of name from this trigger response, from this trigger step to this action step in this name field. And guys, the process of mapping is very simple. Simply click on this field and here in the drop down, you can see a list of all the responses of the form submission which we have received from Elementor. Out of all of these responses, select the response of first name and map it over here. Then just add a space and after that from the drop down, once again select the response of last name and it will be mapped to. In this way, whatever first name and the last name, whatever name the user is going to enter in Elementor form while making the form submission, with the same name, we are going to add that person as a client in Previa. After name, it is asking us for the source, that what is the source of this new client. For example, the source of this new client is Elementor. And all the clients which we are creating using this automation, all of those clients we are receiving from Elementor. So the lead source is Elementor over here. So I'm going to enter Elementor over here. After lead source, it is asking us for the email. So we have received the email addresses of the user as well. So we will be using the same process of mapping to map the email address from trigger response to this previous step. Just click here. From the drop down, select the response of email and it will be mapped. Then let's map the phone number. So here we will click here from the drop down, map the response of phone number. And here you can see the plus sign is missing in this phone number. So we have received the phone number with 10 digits mobile number and the country code as well. But the plus sign in this response in this phone number which we have received from Elementor is missing over here. So what we can do, we can just manually add this plus sign over here before this phone number. Then it is asking us for the keys. So here guys, if you want to enter some additional customer details, like other than these, if you want to enter some other details which we have received like age and gender, you can basically enter these details in key and value fields. So for example, we want to enter the age and the gender. So the age and gender will be key and the values of age and gender will be entered over here in this value field. So in this way, you can also enter some custom details of the user. Now to enter the custom details, some additional customer details, what we have to do, in this fields of key, we have to turn this mapping button on, clear the default response. Then we have to enter the label of the key. So the details, the additional details which we are going to enter in Privyr are age and gender. So what we are going to do, the label will be age and after a comma, it will be gender. So we are entering two additional details of this client. Now here guys, after entering the keys, age, comma, gender, we are going to enter the keys as comma separated values. You can see two different fields of age and gender. So in field of age, you can enter the age received from Elementor form submission. Now what we can do, just click here. From the drop down, select the response of age and it will be mapped. And here in the field of gender, select the response of gender and it will be mapped here too. In this way, if you want to enter some additional details, some custom details of the client which we are creating in Previa, you can enter the label, the name of all the details as comma separated values in this key field. And after that, after entering those details, you can see all of those keys as fields over here. Like we have entered age, comma, gender. So you can see age and gender as two different fields. And then you can map the respective details over here. After doing this, just click on save and send test request. Now, when we click on save and send test request, here you will see we are going to receive some response from Previa and the response is received. So this response seems to be a positive response to us. This response shows that the details of a user, of a client, which we have mapped over here, basically the details of a user which we have received from Elementor, using these details, this person is now added as a client in our Previa account. So let's check it. We will go to a Previa account. We will go to the client section. And yes, here you can see that dummy user, a new client is just now created in our Previa account. So the name of the client is dummy user. The mobile number is this, the same mobile number which we have entered while making the Elementor form submission over here. Then after that, here you can see the same WhatsApp number, the same email address. Then you can see some custom details as well. So we have entered the age and the gender as well in the custom details while setting up this action step in Pabbly Connect. And you can see the same details as age and gender. The lead source is Elementor over here. So in this way, you can see guys, the step 2 of setting up this automation is also completed. We have successfully added the user who made the form submission in Elementor as a client in Previa. Now after this, let's move to step 3. In step 3, what we want to do, we want to add this same user with same form submission details with the same form responses as contact in Brevo. For that, we will just scroll down, click on this add action step button over here. And then here in choose app, we are going to search for Brevo and then just select it. After this, an action event from the drop down, select the action event as create or update contact. Then just click on connect and select add new connection over here. Now here guys, we have to connect our Brevo account with Pabbly Connect. And to make this connection, first we have to enter the domain of our Brevo account and then we have to enter the API key of our Brevo account as well. So the help text says to enter the domain, we just have to enter the domain in this particular link. Just copy it from here, paste it over here. And then here in place of your domain name, you have to enter the domain name of your Brevo account. So the domain name of my Brevo account is brevo.com. If you have some other domain name, you can enter that as well. Or if you have this exact same domain name, then you have to enter api.brevo.com as the domain name. Then it is asking us for API key. Now in place of API key, to get the API key of your Brevo account, just go to Brevo. On the right top corner, click on this profile option and from the drop down, go to SMTP and API. After that, just go to this API keys section and here you can see a list of all the API keys which we have already created in Brevo. To generate a new one, click on this generate a new API key button. Give this API key a name. For example, I'll name it as Pabbly Connect. You can give any other name of your choice and then just click on generate. After clicking on generate, this API key is generated in our Brevo account. Just copy this API key from here, go to Pabbly Connect and paste it over here. And then just click on save. And when we click on save, we will see our Brevo account will get connected with Pabbly Connect. After making this connection, the first thing it asks us is the email. That what is the email address of this new contact which we are creating in Brevo. So we have received the email address from Elementor form submission. So we will be using the same process of mapping once again. Just click here from the drop down from Elementor responses, select the response of email and it will be mapped. Now let's read the help text given below. Enter the email address of user. Mandatory if the SMS field is not passed in the attributes parameter, example user@gmail.com. So if you are not entering the SMS field, like if you are not entering the mobile number of this new contact which we are creating, in that case, mentioning or entering the email address is mandatory. So it is required to enter the email address or the mobile number. You just have to at least enter one detail over here. Then it is asking us email blacklisted. Set true this field to blacklist the contact from email. So the contacts which I am creating, I don't want to blacklist these contacts from emailing. So from the drop down, I will be selecting false over here. Then it is asking us SMS blacklisted. So I don't want to blacklist them from SMS as well. So I will be selecting false as well. You can select true according to your choice if you want to blacklist these contacts. Then it is asking us for the lists. And here in the drop down, you can see all the contact lists which we have created in our Brevo account can be seen over here. So I'll just go to my Brevo account over here. Let's go to the contact section and let's go to lists. And here under list, you can see a list of all the contacts which I have in my Brevo account. Out of all of this, I have this list named as Elementor list. And in this particular list, I want to add these new contacts in Brevo. So here from the drop down, I will be selecting that particular list, Elementor list over here. Then it is asking us update enabled. So do you want to update these contacts if they already exist in your Brevo account or not? So yes, if the user who is making the form submission already exists in my Brevo account, in that case, I want to update the contact. So we have selected true over here. Then it is asking us SMTP blacklister sender. So we don't want to blacklist it, so you can ignore this field. Then it is asking us for the last name, first name, SMS mobile number and other details. So one by one, we will be mapping all of these details over here. Let's map the last name. From the drop down from Elementor responses, select the response of first name. And here in field of SMS from the drop down, select the response of mobile number and map it. And also add the plus sign. Then it is asking us for the double opt-in, that do you want to send the double opt-in email to the customers or not. So I don't want to send it, so I will be selecting no over here. Then it is asking us for some other details like amount, notes, title, close date. So all of these fields are not mandatory or not required, and we haven't received all of these details of a new contact from Elementor as well. So if you want, you can ignore these fields for now. And then just click on save and send test request. Now when we click on save and send test request, here you can see that we have received some response over here. And this response seems to be a positive response to us. This response shows that the details of the user which we have mapped over here, basically the person, the user who made the form submission in Elementor, that person is now added as a contact in Brevo. So let's check it. We will go to a Brevo account. We'll go to this list, contact list. We have the same list. Let's refresh this list once. And yes guys, here you can see that dummy user, the same person, the same contact with the same details is now added in our Brevo account over here. And also guys, you can see the same details. Here you can see the same name, you can see today's date, you can see the same email address, mobile number and the other details as well. And it is also added to the same list which we have selected. This means guys, the step 3 of setting up this automation is also completed. We have successfully added this user as a contact in Brevo. Now let's move to the final step. In the final step, we wanted to add all the form responses from Elementor as a new row in our Google Sheet. This is optional guys. If you want to add this data, you can do that, or you can ignore any of the steps according to your choice. So to add it, just click on this add action step button after Brevo. And then here in choose app, let's search for Google Sheets. Just select it. After selecting Google Sheets, in action event from the drop down, select the action event as add new row. Then just click on connect and select add new connection over here. Now here guys, we have to connect our Google Sheets account with Pabbly Connect. And to make this connection, click on this Sign in with Google button. After clicking on it, just select your Google Sheets account. Then just scroll down and click on Continue. And as we click on Continue, we will see our Google Sheets account will get connected with Pabbly Connect. After connecting our Google Sheets account, the first thing it asks us is to select the spreadsheet. So here in this drop-down, you can see a list of all the spreadsheets which we have created in my Google Sheets account. Out of all of this, you have to select the spreadsheet in which you want to add the Elementor form responses, this new row of data. So I have named my spreadsheet as Elementor form responses. In this particular sheet, I want to add the details, the form responses. So I will be selecting this spreadsheet over here. Then it is asking us to select the sheet. So in the Google spreadsheet, it is most likely possible that you might have created multiple sheets over here. So out of all of them, in which particular sheet you want to add the data. Right now in this Google sheet, I have only one sheet named as sheet 1. That's why in this drop down of select sheet, you can see only one sheet as sheet 1. But if you have added multiple sheets, in this drop down, you will get a list of all the sheets. And you have to select the sheet in which you want to add the new row of data. After this, it is asking us first name, last name, email, mobile number, age and gender. So guys, all the headers, all the columns of data which I have created in this sheet, you can see all of these headers, all of these columns as fields over here in Pabbly Connect. And one by one, what we have to do, we have to map the Elementor form responses into their respective fields. Starting from first name, just click here. From the drop down from Elementor responses, select the response of first name and map it. Then let's map the last name from the drop down. Then we will be mapping the email address. Just click here. From the drop down, select the response of email and map it. And guys, the process of mapping stays the same for each and every step. Then let's map the age. And at last, map the response of gender. This is gender. So in this way, we have mapped all the responses which we have received from Elementor form submission into their respective fields. And then just click on Save and Send Test Request. After clicking on Save and Send Test Request, we will see we have received some response, and this is also a positive response. This response shows that the data which we have mapped over here, this data is now added as a new row in our Google Sheet. So let's check it as well. We will go to our Google Sheet, and yes, here you can see that a new row of data is just now added in our Google Sheet. And this is the same name, email address, mobile number, age and gender of the user who has made the form submission in Elementor. This means using this last action step, we have also added the form responses from Elementor to Google Sheet as a new row. And now we have successfully created this automation. So using this automation, whenever we are going to receive a new form submission in Elementor, automatically with the same details, that person will be added as a client in Previa. Then we are going to add that person as a contact in Brevo, and we are going to add the form responses, save the form responses as a new row in Google Sheets. Now guys, after setting up this automation, we are going to test this automation workflow in real time. So here guys, we will be making another form submission in Elementor. For example, the name of the person is demo user. This is the name. This is the email address. Then after that, this is the mobile number. Then the age is, for example, 26 and gender is female. Let's click on submit. So as we click on submit, we can see just now we have received a new form submission in Elementor. So the form submission is successfully done. Now, as we receive the form submission, we will see instantly within seconds, the same person will be added as a client in Previa. So we will go to a Previa account, we will go to the client section, and yes, here you can see that demo user, the same person is added as the client. And here you can see the same details as well. You can see the same mobile number, the same email address which we have entered, the same age and the same gender as well. And the source is Elementor, the same source which we have added. So here guys, the person who made the form submission is added as a client in Previa. Now let's check Brevo. We will go to a Brevo account. We will go to this list. And yes, here you can see that demo user with the same details is now added as a contact in our Brevo account as well. The same email, same phone number and the same name. And also we'll go to our Google Sheet, and here you can see that a new row of form responses is added in Google Sheet. Same name, email address, mobile number, age and gender. This means we have tested this automation in real time and it is working perfectly fine. So not just these applications, you can connect plenty of other applications with Pabbly Connect. And guys, one more important thing. You will find the clone link of this exact same workflow in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can clone this exact same workflow into your own Pabbly Connect account and use this automation workflow for free. Also, let me tell you, Pabbly Connect offers you a free plan. And in this plan, you will get some free tasks every month into your own Pabbly Connect account. So if you want to try and test this automation, you can do it for absolutely free.
If you have any kind of doubts or queries, you can post them on forum.pabbly.com. So if this video was helpful to you, you can obviously like this video, comment down your suggestions, and don't forget to share it with others. So guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you. Have a great day.